Hi, I'm Hazel, and today I'm going to be counting down 5 BlizzCon expectations that did not go as expected, specifically the World of Warcraft ones. So based on how prone somebody might be to wishful thinking, these could be considered expectations, they could be considered wish list, they could be considered, baseless dreaming. None of these things were guaranteed to happen, but things that kind of made people's list of predictions that we definitely did not get. So let's start. Number 5, there will be no boats. Based on the Culturass data mining and everybody's predictions about what that could mean in pirates, and my personal desire for World of Warcraft Wind Waker, lots of people had different ideas of how boats could go about. Back in Warlords of Draenor, we had the shipyard, and when we first got the shipyard data mined, everybody's like, okay, it's like a garrison, but it's a boat. It's a garrison that you can sail. And everybody thought they would be customizing and upgrading and researching different things for our boats. I kind of had a hope that we would be able to do that, but then ride our boats around in the open world instead of a order hall. Maybe we would have a boat, maybe we would have a guild boat, maybe we would have a class order boat. I don't know. I had all these ideas and not one of them happened. We are not getting our own boats. There is not really much of an open world sea besides the normal seas that we kind of get sort of in a perimeter of the various islands. And nobody's customizing a boat. I'm not super disappointed because most of the things that would have made boats really cool for me were kind of wishful thinking. I don't think that WoW will really ever support that kind of open world, sort of spontaneous sailing around gameplay. I think that it would get old very fast. It would be one of those things where you just want to fast travel. But in any case, no matter what you thought boats might be, we're not getting boats. We're not even getting followers according to some Q&As. So there goes my plan for recruiting like a boat crew and then giving them all kind of funny pirate names. Number 4, and this wasn't exactly an expectation until after the opening ceremony, so I don't know if it counts, but we're doing it anyway. So nobody really predicted that classic servers would be announced at BlizzCon, but once they actually put out there that there will be official WoW classic servers, they didn't tell us anything else. I kind of thought that maybe we would get some more details about that. It's not something I'm personally super interested in, but I know that a huge part of the community is really passionate about this. And every time it was brought up in a Q&A, all the details were pretty much like, you know what, it's early development, we'll tell you more one day. Not even soon. We didn't even get a Blizzard soon. So number 4 is basically classic server details, because we really know nothing. We don't know how static it's going to be, we don't know what the payment model is like, we don't know if it's included. They said that they want to have that classic experience without the classic server problems, but does that mean that everything from classic is going to be the same? I know a lot of people have a lot of questions that maybe they thought would get answered in the later panels of BlizzCon, and instead those panels were completely focused on the new expansion, Battle for Azeroth. I'm personally on board with that because Battle for Azeroth is really where all of my interest is, but I can definitely understand that if you were expecting to get any more details about the WoW Classic servers, you might be feeling a little bit disappointed. Number 3, speaking of being disappointed, I didn't really expect this one, specifically. I know some people that definitely had it on their wish list. We're not getting SOLOQUEue, at least not in this expansion. Nothing related to SOLOQUEue is announced as far as an arena, like a competitive PvP SOLOQUEue, such as games like Overwatch or League of Legends or other games with ranked PvP. There is no way to SOLOQUEue, you still have to pre-assemble your own group. And I'm not super surprised that SOLOQUEue didn't get announced, because I think that specific solution has a lot of barriers to being effective within the WoW game specifically. I think the way WoW PvP works doesn't really lend itself to a good SOLOQUEue experience, and even if everything worked out, I think the queue times would be a big problem. But not even specifically SOLOQUEue, I thought for sure we were going to get some kind of new PvP feature to encourage more people to participate in Ranked Arena. I thought there was going to be some kind of new something, I didn't have an exact thing in mind, but I thought for sure, they're putting all of this effort into growing WoW esports. I thought maybe there would be some way to make it easier to get into PvP in the game, or to facilitate the visibility of Arena, or to greater incentivize it. I thought there was going to be something, and the only PvP updates that we've heard of so far, of course it's very early, we're not even in beta yet, but the only PvP updates that we've gotten so far are new maps. We're going to be getting a new battleground and 2 new arena maps. And that's it. For all we know, we're going to be playing the exact same game. And WoW Arena right now, it has an audience, but that audience it feels like, I don't know if this is true, but it feels like it's shrunk a lot. Even over the last couple of expansions, even from where it was in Warlords, and certainly from MoP. So I'm surprised that there isn't some kind of big sweeping feature or push to kind of get arena participation back up, especially with how much they really want WoW esports to happen. No SOLOQUEue and no any kind of anything so far. I mean, it is early, hopefully we do get something. Actually, you know what I kind of thought they might do? And I get why they didn't, because we still have this whole, especially now with this new expansion, Horde versus Alliance thing, but it would really expand the pool of people that a given potential arena queuer could play with if they allowed mercenary mode for arenas. I understand that with racials that gets really sticky, but I feel like there could be some kind of solution found there to allow you to queue with the entire player base instead of being locked to Horde or Alliance, because that's caused some big faction imbalance problems over the last couple of expansions and people having to switch all of their characters. Some kind of way to address the faction split issue, just to kind of mitigate the effects of how small of a player base there is for specifically competitive threes. The threes pool of players, I feel like, could use some help. Number 2, something that I thought for sure we were going to get at BlizzCon that just didn't end up happening, is we didn't get a beta date or time frame. I feel like for the past BlizzCons where they've announced expansions, they've usually had a beta, maybe not a beta date, but they've said it's going to be open very soon, or it's going to be open in, next fall or spring or summer or whatever, and we didn't really get any of that. We have beta. I guess if you go to the website of Battle for Azeroth, it does say beta coming soon, and there is an opt-in, but it's the same opt-in that we've had forever. You can go double check it. I've been opted in for past betas for all the good that did me, and I was still opted in. It doesn't seem like it's a new system, and we don't have any kind of indication of when the beta might start. So not a big deal, it'll get here when it gets here, but I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't get a little bit more of an indication of when it might be playable, especially because they seem to have quite a few different things playable on the show floor. And even for the mod beta, it opened pretty early, and at first there was just like the Pandaren starting experience, but it was something for people to log in and do. This was a completely irrational wish, but I also kind of hope that they would do something like the MOP thing again, because if you remember back to MOP, they had this promotion where if you committed to subbing to WoW for a year, which I do anyways, they would give you Diablo 3, and then they would also give you access to the MOP beta, and I kind of wanted that for the Battle for Azeroth beta, just because I want to be into it. It's not even open yet, and I'm already salty that I'm not into it. Anyways, nothing like that's happening, and beta is soon. Number 1, the final thing that I was very surprised didn't come out over BlizzCon was nowhere during the convention itself did they announce the release date for Antorus the Burning Throne, which is our 7.3 raid. However, that date did come out, and that's why I'm so surprised that they didn't do it at BlizzCon, because it was released in a tweet. I'm not even sure if it was a first-hand Blizzard tweet. It was later confirmed by Blizzard, but I first saw it from Method. Raid's opening on the 28th of November, so that's something. We've got, 3-ish weeks before Antorus the Burning Throne, which is a perfectly good amount of time. It's longer than almost everybody predicted, especially considering that from what I've seen in testing, the raid is mostly ready, but I'm assuming that they're kind of looking at where they are in the Battle for Azeroth development and deciding how long they really want to risk sticking us in this final raid, and maybe stretching it out just a little bit. Antorus the Burning Throne will be out on November the 28th. I can't wait. It's a great raid, or at least it feels great from testing. There's some fights that I think people will love. There are some fights that people are going to be deeply confused by, especially in pug groups, and then there's a lot of fights that, depending on what you play, you're gonna have a better or worse time in, and that's the beauty of a really good designed raid, is that you're always gonna have that one fight where you're like, yes, this is my moment. This is where I'm gonna show my guild why they put up with my bad jokes, So those were the 5 BlizzCon expectations that did not happen. I still had a blast watching esports for BlizzCon. The end of that esports tournament, the Panda Global versus ABC, broke my heart. That was so intense to watch. That must have been crazy to watch live. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you had something that I didn't cover here that you were kind of expecting at BlizzCon that didn't happen. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.